Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. We will discuss verse 7 today. Before that, let's see what we saw in 2.6. न चेदद्विदमकतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेमा यदि वा नो जयेयु यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामस्तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्रः. So here Arjuna was saying to Krishna that, oh Krishna, I'm not able to decide whether I should fight or I should bag food. Or even if I fight and win, then that victory would also be a defeat, because there were no one would be left. No one would be left. And yeah, that would give me distress. So this is what Arjuna said in 2.7. Now let's see. So in 2.7, let's just sing this, then we'll discuss. Please sing after me. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्पवः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयःस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेऽहं स्यादिमां तां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं सतीर्मं त्वं प्रपन्नम्
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वं धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
यच्छ्रेयःस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं सतीमं त्वं प्रपन्नम्.
Okay, sing.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
यच्छ्रेयःस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते हंसति शधीमं त्वं प्रपन्नम्
यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. So in 2.6 or till 2.6, Arjuna didn't accept discipleship, we said discipleship or being a student of Krishna yet. Krishna already became a spiritual master of Arjuna. In 2.2 we saw he said kutastava kashmalam idam. So he said that from where you got this idea, from where you got this dirt in your mind. So Krishna was already chastising Arjuna, so he already became a spiritual master of Arjuna, but Arjuna was not hearing to Krishna yet. Krishna was still trying to give him guidance that this is not good, you are not following your dharma, your duty. But still, he was again giving such arguments to Krishna. So, till yet, he was not accepting a discipleship yet. I hope this is the right word, this discipleship.
It's not the same as devotee, is it?
Yeah, basically, acceptance that I am a disciple or I'm a student.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, yes, he was not accepting it yet. But now, after even giving so many arguments, he was still perplexed. And in 2.6, we saw he was not able to decide what should be done. He was not able to come to any conclusion. So now, here in this verse, he is surrendering to Krishna.
Mhm.
Okay, before we go ahead, we discussed 5 qualities of a person. A person should have 5 qualities. Only then he can attain Atma Jnana, ultimate knowledge. Do you remember those qualities?
We discussed them from a purport yesterday.
Exactly. And not purport. We saw a Sanskrit verse in Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan commentary. Let me take it out for you. But I'll show only Sanskrit text and then you will have to uh, tell.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's here. So we saw Shanta, Danta, Uparatas, Titikshu, Shraddha, Shraddhanvitu.
Yes, that's right. I think I took some notes from that. So jnana is the knowledge, yes, to have knowledge. And Shraddhanvito is when you
Faith.
have faith in the listening to your guru.
Yes. And we saw other things also. There should be sense control, control of mind,
Control.
detachment. And one more was there, if you remember, Titikshu. What was Titikshu?
I
We discussed story of Karna, if you remember. Karna, how
Yes.
he, so basically tolerant.
Oh yes, tolerance. Yes.
So we saw Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan already quoted different verses where, he, by quoting different verses, he was basically telling here that how Arjuna has all of those qualities. And now in 2.7, we can see another big quality of Arjuna, which is that, if you can guess, out of those 5 qualities, Shraddha, faith. So because he has faith on Krishna, that's why he will be now surrendering unto Krishna. So, we discussed this only when we have faith on someone, then only we accept his guidance and we follow it in our life. We don't, follow anything blindly. So now this verse tells another good quality of Arjuna, faith, and only then he'll be able to surrender to Krishna, which he's doing in this verse. So, yes, let's see now the translation. Would you like to read the translation?
Yes, sure. Now I am confused about my duty, and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Done. So, now you can see here Arjuna is saying, I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure. So, because of merely weakness. Now, how that weakness came? Is it because Arjuna didn't get food on that day? That's why he was feeling very weak. Well, this is very amazing point that this conversation between Krishna and Arjuna uh, happened on Ekadashi.
Oh, I see. Did he? Okay.
Yes. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on Ekadashi. So it was Ekadashi that day. It's called Moksha Rupa Ekadashi.
So he was fasting, was he?
What?
He may have been fasting.
Definitely, but this weakness was not about, that because of the fasting. But yeah, this is an amazing thing that uh, it was Ekadashi that day. So basically, can you guess what was the reason of his weakness? Miserly weakness?
Um. Well, he had some kind of doubt. So,
Basically, that weakness was because of attachment.
mm,
So, because of attachment, a person becomes miserly weak. Miserly. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hmm?
um, yes, it's a rare word to use, but it makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. So, whenever a person will identify himself as body, so he will bear such miserly weakness. Because, when he is identifying himself with this material body, so he will not be able to fulfill his duty, his very duty. And this is what, Arjuna was confused about. He's saying this, I'm confused about my duty. So, because of his ignorance, because of his attachment, he was confused about his duty. And see, confusion is something which makes us very distressful because we are not able to, make any choice that what is right for me, what should I do. And we really need someone's guidance who may guide us. Do you agree with this? Confusion is really, very distressful. So, yes, when a person is confused or if he's identifying himself with this body, he will not be able to fulfill his duty. And because of that, he will remain distressed and he will not be able to attain perfection. Or he will not be, yeah, he will not be able to attain perfection. So, this is what, we discussed. Okay. Priya Sharma Mataji is also here. Hare Krishna Mataji. So, yes, this is very important, which one should understand that this attachment is something which makes one miserly weak. And this is how Arjuna was feeling. Now, Arjuna was very much knowing what
Mm.
was his dharma. He knew he is a Kshatriya and his very duty is to fight. But then also, he was not able to come to any conclusion because he was confused because of his attachment. See, my instructing master, he was giving this example. It was very brilliant. If we are not getting up early in morning, so the only reason behind is that we are identifying ourselves with this body. We are on mental platform. That's why, you know, we are not able to wake up early in the morning. But suppose share with me in your country, your currency is sterling.
Mhm.
So suppose if we get 1,000 sterlings for waking up early in the morning, will we ever miss a single morning? No, right? because we see that, I'm getting benefit. I will get 1,000 sterlings if I get up early in the morning. So we will never miss any morning. So yeah, because we are on mental platform, that's why, we just take these things for granted. But now Arjuna, he was surrendering to Krishna, and he really mean it. He was not saying this in words. See, he's saying that in this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and I'm a surrendered soul unto you. Uh, a soul surrendered unto you. So now he really mean it. He was not like Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, he used to tell Vidura that, oh, Vidura, you give me instructions about dharma. But he always used to hear instructions from Vidura, but he could never follow it. He would never follow it. He would just, hear it for the sake of hearing, but he never follow it. But here, when Arjuna is asking from Krishna the solution, that Krishna, oh Krishna, please tell me what is best for me. So here he really mean it. Please note it. He is sincere and serious. And this is all what one want to get perfection, to attain perfection in his life, or basically to, for self realization. Sincerity and, being serious is very much important. And this is what Arjuna was here. Okay. So before going ahead, we will, discuss some words here. See, here is a word, uh, karpanya. Karpanya means miserliness. So, I have to search another word for it. Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's not, it's miser. Miser is someone who is, who is not, whose heart is not giving. Means he never want to give something to someone. That is miser, isn't it?
Like mean. Yes, this is not a word that I'm very familiar with. People don't use this much nowadays. The word miserable is like the
Miserable.
weather. Sometimes people say, "Oh, it's so miserable," and I think it comes from this word too, but this one we don't use. So we use more like to say, "Oh, you're mean."
So
When
yes,
someone's mean, they don't want
exactly.
to share.
Exactly. A person who is greedy or who is uncharitable, who never wish to give something for the benefit of others, that is miser. So it's not,
Um,
yeah, it's not
I'm more.
it, miserable. Miserable is different.
Mhm.
Miserable is, miserable relates with misery, suffering. But
Yes.
miser means a greedy person who do not wish to give something for others' benefit. So that is miser.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
For that, we say mean, a mean person.
exactly.
MEAN. Oh, you're so mean because you don't want to share. You don't want to. That, yeah, it means it has different significance.
Exactly. Now let's understand the meaning of this word, karpanya, that is miser. This is very interesting word. See, a, a miser person is one, it is actually not only applicable to money, a person who do not wish to give money to someone for their benefit, but this term here, particularly specifically here, it is not only related to money, but it is related to quality.
Mhm.
So if suppose we have some quality and we do not utilize that quality for the benefit of others, that is one thing. But we are even not utilizing that quality for our own benefit. That is what it means to be miser.
Mm.
So we are not benefiting others, but we are not benefiting ourselves as well. That is what it means being a miser.
Yeah, then it makes sense also the miserable. If you're not uh being a kind person, because when you're mean, it's the opposite of being kind. So then you're miserable because deep, deep inside you can't be happy when you are
Yeah,
uh
in one sense, that person will be miserable. But yeah, I hope you understood the real
yeah.
meaning of what is being, what it is, what does
Mhm.
it mean to being a miser.
Mhm.
So yes, Arjuna is saying this here. Uh, Let me see the translation again. I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. It's miserly weakness. Miserly weakness means I'm not able to think about the benefits of others. This is one point, but I'm not able to even benefit myself.
Mm.
I have such, qualities. I am a great warrior. I can fight. I can benefit others. I can benefit myself, my family, but I'm not able to do anything. So that what it means to be a miser.
Mm.
Now, let's understand this with one example. My instructing master often gives this example that there was one person. He was very uh, stingy. I hope stingy is the right word.
Stingy.
Stingy. Okay, yes. So he was very stingy. So he made a bank balance, and his son gave him an idea that, oh, father, we have lots of money. Let's withdraw that money and we may buy some grains, and then we may sow that grains in the soil, and then we will have lots of fertilizer. I don't know what we call that.
Mhm.
If you can, fertilizers. Yes, then we will have lots of fertilizers, and then we will be able to make more money from that. But that stingy father, he said, what, we will withdraw money and we will throw that money into dirt, into mud. So he was thinking like that there would be no benefit of withdrawing money. And he was thinking it in a way that it would be equivalent to throwing that money in dirt or mud.
Mm.
So this is what it means to be a miser. See, stingy is one who do not do something for the benefit of others, but he is selfish. He will do everything for himself. That is stingy. But miser is one who will not do something for the benefit of others, but he will also not do anything or something for his own benefit. So like
Mm.
that. Now, if whatever knowledge we are grabbing here, if we are drinking it alone and we are not distributing this nectar to other people, then we would also be considered as miser. So we should be very selective here. We should try to, preach. We should try to connect uh, as many people or as many souls as we can. If we are hesitant to speak about Krishna to human beings, so at least we can, sing Mahamantra to birds or animals, isn't it? We discussed these examples earlier also. So we should not be miser. We should be open hearted. We should be compassionate. And we should, you know, show mercy to other living beings.
Mm. But I was thinking that there's some contradiction there because first he's feeling compassion and he's even even if he's saying it, without intending to do so. He's saying, I prefer to go begging, and what would be the benefit of winning and having victory if I can't be with other people? So then, in this sense, the weakness is it? I mean, like what you're saying, the attachment makes perfect sense. Um, but I don't know if he's also a stingy person because he prefers to go begging.
Yes, please try to understand this. This austerity which he, the sacrifice which he wished to perform here, it makes no sense. You know, going in forest and begging for food, it makes no sense. He will be disturbed. I mean, because he is a great soul, so he will not get disturbed. But since still we see it from external point of view, suppose you are thinking that, oh, now I want to dedicate my whole life to Krishna, so I will go in a silent place, I'll go to mountains and I'll meditate there. So it's not very safe place, and you are actually not even benefit yourself when you are taking such decision, because you have ability, you have quality, you can benefit others. But like this, if you take decision to go alone somewhere in forest and beg for food, so you are actually not benefiting even yourself.
I understand yeah.
So yes, Arjuna was a warrior. His duty was to fight, his duty was to save uh, from enemies. But instead of that, he's thinking that, oh, I'll go in forest, I'll beg for food. So here, he was actually not even benefiting himself. What to say of others? And he was very much realizing this. That's why he's saying these words. He is mentioning himself as miser.
Mhm.
So I hope it makes sense. Okay. Now, let's see more points here. One point he said, कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वाम धर्म sammoodh cheta. Now about dharma, he's not able to make decision. Yes, see, about religion, about dharma, he is bewildered. He's not able to take decision that what is dharma for me, what should I follow. So now he is bewildered here. Now let's understand this also with an example. Basically, again, this shows his attachment, and because of attachment he is bewildered, he's not able to take decision. Just like, for example, we know we should offer food to Krishna, and only then we honor prasadam of Krishna. But suppose our best friends, our friend from childhood, who have been our best friend, or who have been that single friend who have been my friend, best friend from childhood, she invited me. Suddenly, she called me. I had a very great friendship with her. And she called me that, oh, let's meet, let's go out in restaurant, and let's relish some nice vegan food. Okay, she is appreciating you being a vegan. So she is inviting you, let's have some vegan food out. But now you became bewildered. Oh, my dharma is to only consume Krishna prasadam. But at the same time, she's my very lovely best friend. And she's also appreciating me being a veganism. She will also get benefit. She will also, get opportunity to taste some vegan food. And yeah, that way she will also get benefit and possibilities there. She also become a vegan. She's not a vegan yet, but possibility is there. She also become a vegan. So now here you got bewildered. What should I do? What is dharma? So like that. So you're not able to make decision. My duty is to consume only Krishna prasadam. But on the other side, she can also become a vegan if I go with her in a vegan restaurant. So you become bewildered. So I hope you get it. So this is the condition of Arjuna here.
Um,
And yeah.
yeah, there is an expression to be torn apart. So maybe this is how I'm seeing him, torn apart. Like he's like, where do I go? What do I do?
And again, you don't have to mind. We are just discussing example here. Now, because you are attached to your friend, and that this is the only reason you became bewildered, because you are attached with your lovely best friend, your childhood best friend. And this is the only reason, that attachment is the reason you became bewildered about your dharma, about your duty, that your duty is to only consume Krishna prasadam and nothing else. See, whenever we become bewildered, I mean, if any such situations come in our life, we should just remember one thing, that we have given eternal lifetimes to other people of this world, but now only this time, this life, I have to give myself to Krishna. So my only duty is to please Krishna. So, you can, when you will think of this, then chances are there you will not get bewildered. That from eternal time, I have been pleasing people of this world. But now, this time, when I got the association of devotees, when I came to know about this beautiful process of Krishna consciousness, so my duty is to please my Krishna. This is, how I think, and this helps me very much to take decision. What should I do? It's very helpful. So let's take more examples of attachment. Suppose a person is a surgeon. So on the daily basis, from scissors or from knife, he do operation of his patients. Now suppose next patient he have is his own son. So how difficult it would become for him to to do his operation, the operation of his son. It's very painful. When we operation is very painful, they are using those tools, knife, scissors, to cut the skin. It's very painful. But now he see his own son as his patient, so because of his attachment, he will not be able to operate him. So this is another example. One more example we can see. Suppose a king, he is very dutiful, he's very responsible, and he always punishes the culprits. And suppose one day the culprit was his own son. Now it would be very difficult for him to punish his own son because of the attachment. So please try to understand, this attachment is, something which is a big hurdle in our life. And it's not very easy to give up such attachments, because we have such deep conditioning that this is mine, that person belongs to me, this is my son, this is my sister, this is this, this is this. So this attachment is, because we have such deep conditioning, so it's not very easy to give up such attachments, and these attachments become a big hindrance in our spiritual growth. But when we see other living beings also, even our family members, as fragmental parts of Krishna, then it becomes very easy. But for such consciousness to see living beings or our family members as Krishna's fragmental part, it's very important that our hearing should be very strong. If we are hearing Shastras consistently, our hearing is very strong, our philosophy is very strong, only then we will be able to, you know, uh, make such difference in our life by identifying other beings also as part of Krishna. So whomsoever we are seeing, we are, thinking that those people belong to me. They actually belong to Krishna. Very beautiful point one devotee told once, that we are actually living with people to whom we have never seen, to whom we have even never seen. We are just seeing these bodies, and we are not this body. That person who is living with you, he was someone else in his previous life, but in this life, we are assuming that person as, our relative or something like that. So we are actually living with people to whom we have not even seen. We are only seeing their bodies. So we are actually living with, strangers, because we don't know anyone. But yes, when we understand our relationship with Krishna, then we develop this sight that, oh, he is also fragmental of a part of Krishna, like me. And when we understand this relationship, only then we develop a sense of respect and love and compassion for them. Otherwise, people, who are identifying themselves with this body and not understanding their relationship with God, they are only using other people as an object for their sense gratification. Even parents or children, they just want to satisfy their desires with them, from them, by them, isn't it? So yes, this is, and because of this reason, Arjuna is a great soul, but Krishna invoked this attachment in the heart of Arjuna, and that's why he was bewildered about his own duty, about his own dharma. So like that, you want to say something?
Um, that's true that we identify with something close to us, so that identification is what creates that attachment. And then if something happens to that attachment, whether it is, a person, or it can even be a situation, or circumstances, places. If it's over, then we feel really affected. Um, and then if they tell us, oh, something is happening elsewhere in the world, we sometimes think, oh, that's sad, but we then forget about it because we don't feel identified. So that's very interesting.
And of course,
How
when we are discussing this point, so it doesn't mean that we don't have to care or love our family members, or we do not care about them, about their health if they are sick, so we do not feed them medicine. No, it's not like that. But we should not become bewildered. We should still continue our sadhana, our bhakti, our devotional services, because if we will pause our sadhana, then that will not help them, to, I mean, in whatever condition they are in. So this we need to understand, that things will happen in this world, but important thing is we should continue our devotional practices. And this is what Prabhupada tells, that I wonder, my disciples, they buy many austere books, but they are finding difficulty to chant their 16 rounds. This
Sorry, what do you mean austere books?
austere books means, you should meditate like this, or whatever other things people do, thinking that they are practicing something spiritual. So that what it means, austere. Austere
Oh,
means, you need to fast. You only need to eat once in a day. You need to fast on fruits, or you need to only drink water. Like this stupid austerities. And yeah, like that.
oh, so that the book is, yeah, I know austerities, but so a book that is emphasizing that you perform this.
Yes,
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
perform such austerities. So yes, that time, Prabhupada's disciples, they were getting some austere books. And even now this happens, people, they read many austere books, they try to follow those things, but then they compromise with their chanting or hearing.
Mm.
But this is not good. We should compromise other things for chanting and hearing. We should not compromise our chanting or hearing for other things. This is the reference. So, yes. Okay. So, one more time, I will read. Okay, today we will discuss Sridhari commentary, Sridhar Swami's commentary. Let's see. Therefore, Kripanya, miserliness or weakness of heart, means how can I continue to live after killing these revered elders? Out of fear of committing the uh, grievous sin of destroying my own family, my natural courage and noble qualities have become overwhelmed. So, see, it was not the very first time when Arjuna was fighting with his own. Uh, I mean, there were, many people to whom Arjuna fought because he was a warrior. It was his very business to fight. But now, here, specifically, when he saw his kinsmen, and in fact, um, when Pandavas and Kauravas, they came back from the ashrama after their training was completed. Then also they used to fight. So, Kshatriya means they will always, engage in fighting wars. This is the very business of Kshatriya. So it was not that it was the very first time when he was fighting, but only now he was becoming overwhelmed. Despite of his natural courage and noble qualities, he was becoming overwhelmed. So this was his miserliness. He was not able to benefit others, and not even he was not able to benefit himself because he was getting overwhelmed. See, please try to understand that when we are getting overwhelmed or when we are getting distressed, anxious, then that time also we are not benefiting ourselves, because that way our consciousness or health will get down, isn't it? This happens. You will see people, they eat healthy food, but because they have some anxiety or they do not take proper sleep, so then also their health is very poor. So here they are not benefiting even themselves. So, I read it somewhere that keeping ourselves healthy is also a part of our devotional services, because only that way, if our mind is healthy and our health is healthy, body is healthy, then only we'll be able to practice nicely. Suppose if we are sitting in the class and any of our body is paining, a body part is paining, so our mind will go on that pain and we will not be able to hear class nicely. So that's why keeping ourselves healthy is also a part of devotional service, because when we are healthy we are able to concentrate nicely. So yes.
Yeah, yesterday, um, someone in a meeting, she was wondering if when someone gets sick, that was Krishna testing them, um, and or whether it was just, their karma. Um, so, I mean, we tend to get sick because um, as we get, the those are those what they're called, the miseries of life, that we are born, but then we get older and there's disease and then there's death. But this is not Krishna testing us, this is part of life, or how do you see it?
Actually, we can't say this is not Krishna's test for sure. If
Mhm.
we keep health ourselves, if we eat food nicely on regular timings, it's not like whenever we see food, we are eating, or we are overeating, or we are not, sleeping on time, waking up on time. These things really affect our health. So, I
Mhm.
have been a part of Sattvic movement, and many people, by following Sattvic lifestyle, they are not taking any medicines. What they do is they eat simple food, they eat on regular timings, they drink plenty of water, they sleep early, they wake up early, they exercise daily. And just by following these simple things, even a diseased person became diseased free.
Mhm.
So these things really matter. And Krishna, Krishna has also discussed this in Bhagavad Gita in 17th chapter, that how practicing mode of goodness helps us so much. It uplifts us. So,
Yeah.
whatever, that girl, whoever she was, if you ask her about her timetable, what she eats, at what time she sleeps, so, you will get to know where she's lacking.
Mhm.
So definitely you should help her by telling all these things to her, because many times people don't know that where they are, committing mistake. So
Mhm.
if we know the solution, we should definitely tell them. My instructing master, he's also very health conscious, and he keep on, give such instructions on health. A few weeks ago, he was even holding yoga sessions. He was making devotees practice yoga, pranayam, breathing exercises, because these healthy choices makes big difference in our life to keep us healthy.
Yes. You know, it is just so interesting how Krishna has, Krishna appears in everyone's lives, and then it's up to, um, like he makes himself, and then we need to be aware, we need to be receptive, right? Um, and I was sharing with you some time ago. I saw the image of baby Krishna, and I was just really fascinated with like the feeling I had, not just thinking, oh, that's a pretty picture. Like I was, oh, what's going on? Where is this? What's happening? Um, but also, yoga became a sensation some years ago. But I was not interested because of like exercise. I thought that there was something very, like the asanas and the breathing. It's not something that people do consciously if you're taking, basketball or anything like that. So I actually did go to many yoga classes before, and so I liked all the Sanskrit words, and so I haven't been very familiar with that practice anymore, because I have just been more to bhakti yoga and the reading. And I actually want to do that activity, some activity. I mean, I walk a lot actually, because when I go to work here and there, I like to walk. So that's something I do very often. If the weather is good, but or even if it's rainy, it's nice too. Um, but it's interesting you mentioned that, because it happened before. is something that happened before, and then Bhakti yoga um, is what's happening now. So I'm glad it happened that way.
Okay, back to our topic. Thus, my very nature, Svabhava, that is my heroic disposition and the qualities befitting a Kshatriya, has been overcome and weakened. In this bewildered state, I now approach you with a question. Now, see, Arjuna is saying here that his very Svabhava, his nature, has been overcome and weakened. Now, we should always, we can take a lesson from here. Doubt means, he's, somewhere mentioning or talking about doubt. He was doubting about his own quality and, yeah, about his own heroic qualities and all those things. So, see, if a devotee, if any time he became doubtful about his devotional service, then it's over. If he becomes doubtful that, oh, I'm chanting 2 hours a day, I'm dedicating more of my time in Krishna consciousness, but will that really give me love of Krishna, love of Godhead? And please try to understand such doubts. In our situation, such doubt comes when we associate with non devotees and we are not associating with devotees. Only then such doubts come. And when a person becomes doubtful, then, his bhakti life is over, because now he will not practice Krishna consciousness. So, we should always pray from Krishna that we may never become doubtful about chanting, because, chanting is main, and only this chanting of Hare Krishna will give love of Godhead. Isn't it? So you will see, for planting a tree, it take many years, maybe decades, to plant a tree, to grow a tree. But it takes just 1 minute to cut it off. So this is what, our Shraddha is. This is how our Shraddha is, or our faith is, that it takes many years to build that faith that we are on the right path. We have to practice Krishna consciousness. But the moment we associate with non devotees, and no matter, we should never think that, oh, now I have become a pure devotee. No one can bewilder me. I can associate with anyone. No, we should never think like that, because that is very dangerous for our spiritual life. And also, a quality of a bona fide spiritual master is that he will invoke faith in the heart of his disciple, and he will destroy all the doubts in his heart, that he is not wasting his time when he's practicing Krishna consciousness. This is a beautiful quality of a bona fide spiritual master, and you can see how Prabhupada invoked this faith in everyone's heart, in the heart of hippies, and he made them devotees. He, destroyed all the doubts they were, thinking that we will realize ourselves if we take LSD, if we take drugs. But Prabhupada destroyed all their doubts that, you are simply wasting your time. You practice Krishna consciousness, only then you will attain perfection. Isn't it? And now also you can see there are many Prabhupada disciples who are who not only practiced Krishna consciousness throughout their life, but they are also encouraging others. Uh, destroying their doubts. So it's very important. So, yes, Arjuna is saying, I now approach you with a question. I have become completely confused regarding dharma. I cannot determine whether fighting this war or renouncing it and leaving by begging is the proper course for a Kshatriya. Therefore, please instruct me clearly about which is certainly for my highest welfare. Shreya, what is truly right for me to do? So see, Shreya means highest welfare is something which we are not able to see in present moment, but we will certainly attain it in future. This is what highest welfare. We are not able to in present moment actually uh, we are not able to experience that we are soul, we are eternal servants of Krishna, but in future it's definite a person who is following Krishna consciousness, chanting and hearing and all the other processes which being told, he will attain highest perfection. So this is what Shreya means, which we will attain in future, but we are not able to experience it in present moment. For this moment, I am your disciple. I am fit to be instructed by you alone. Therefore, I have surrendered unto you. Tvam prapannam. Kindly teach and guide me. Please impart to me that knowledge by which my confusion may be dispelled and I may understand my true duty. So you will see Arjuna is looking forward to know his highest welfare. Only then he was able to surrender to Krishna. Are you getting this? If a person is actually, if a person really wish to know his highest welfare, then only he will be able to surrender himself to spiritual master. Prabhupada tells this that we should not visit to spiritual master to ask for those things which are available in market. So suppose we don't have to go to spiritual master for our headache. Oh, spiritual master, my head is paining, please give me some remedy. No, that we can, go to doctor or in market we can easily get medicine for that. But for highest welfare, if we are uh, you know um, yeah, if we want to know about highest welfare, then only one should approach spiritual master, and this is what Arjuna doing here. I hope I was not very fast today.
No, no, that is good. It's a very nice purport.
Yes. So with this we will conclude our session here, and the commentary of Baldev Vidyabhushan and Prabhupada purport we will continue in our next session whenever we'll meet, if Krishna's willing. If you wish to add something, please go ahead.
Um, yeah, I think all's been understood. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Okay, so we will conclude here. Thank you so much for your time and association. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki,
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.